Well, all right, folks, we are down to the last week in this class. So this is the overview for week 8. So in this week, we're going to be covering something called analysis of variance. This is probably the most widely used statistic in all of statistics, okay? So to put it in context for you, last week, we learned what to do if you were trying to compare two groups. Say you have two separate groups, male, female, people who live in St. Louis versus people who live in Illinois, right? You have two groups and you're trying to compare the means to see if there's a significant difference between those means, right? We learned that if you're going to do that, then you're probably going to use something called an independent samples t-test, okay? Well, the question is, so what happens if you have more than two groups? Well, the answer is analysis of variance, okay? And so this week we're going to concentrate on how to use analysis of variance to test when you have a situation where you're comparing a mean of more than two groups. So 3 or more groups. Turns out it doesn't matter how many more groups that you have, just as long as you have 3 or more groups, you're going to use something called the analysis of variance. And that's really the focus today. As with last week, it's a way of testing a hypothesis. Okay? So in terms of the work that you're doing, there's a few things. So there is your usual MyStatLab homework assignment on analysis of variance. But this week you have another opportunity to get some bonus points. And that's what you see, this bonus activity for categorical data. Okay. The idea here is to kind of get you also warmed up for the final course project. And so once again, this is a completely optional assignment, but if you do it, it's worth up to 10 bonus points. Okay. And so for the course project, you're going to need to download the course project data set in the same way that you've been downloading the This Is Us data set or the Cardinals data set. You'll need to load it into your StatCrunch program, and then you'll need to take the course project. Okay, it's made up of 30 questions, multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank. It's worth 50 points. Okay, and you'll have 2 attempts in which to answer those questions. Once you have completed it, you'll know immediately what your grade is for that. So it kind of serves as your final exam in this course. Okay, and then there's an end of course reflection. Okay, and then the course evaluation, which you can sort of access by following the instructions that are listed below there. Okay, so that's basically what we're doing this week. If you need any clarification, don't be shy. Feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to point you the way. But once you've completed this is basically the end of the class. This is my last overview. Okay, you folks have a great week. Bye-bye.